Welcome back. Pushing through that stimulus package, the House set to vote on President Biden's $1.9 trillion stimulus package tomorrow. It is packed with non-COVID spending, including $100 million for a Silicon Valley Underground Railroad project and another $50 million for environmental justice. Democrats are hoping to include raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour. A final decision on that could come today. Joining me right now is Tennessee Senator, member of the Foreign Relations Committee and Appropriations Committees, Bill Hagerty. Sir, it's good to have you this morning. Thank you so much for being here. You know, yesterday, Kevin McCarthy told me that he thinks this COVID stimulus package is only 9% COVID. Others say it's up to 20% when you include sort of stay-at-home issues and things addressing businesses that had to board up. But whether it's 9% or 20% COVID, there is a majority of the spending having to do with nothing related to COVID and more about pet projects like a rail car in San Francisco for Nancy Pelosi. Your reaction on whether or not this goes through?
My reaction is this is nothing more than a clear shot across the bow of partisanship. The Congress has already put close to $4 trillion available to our economy. $1 trillion of that, almost, Maria, has not yet been spent. What the Democrats are doing is taking advantage of a crisis yet again to push through this wish list of items that have nothing to do with the pandemic. What we really need to be focused on right now is getting shots in people's arms, getting our kids back to school, and getting our parents back to work. Not this wish list that you ran through that would never pass under any type of normal circumstance.
Yeah, it's pretty extraordinary that the borders are wide open, but our schools are shut down. I mean, thinking about that for a minute is just extraordinary. Do you think that this passes?
Well, you mentioned an incredible irony. The open doors policy that the Biden administration is pursuing is going to have a very negative effect on our recovery. If you think about the people struggling at the bottom, the small companies, the hospitality businesses in Tennessee, the restaurants who are trying to reopen, they need to get Americans back to work. It's easier to cross the border from Mexico into the United States today than it is to get a beer and a honky-tonk in Nashville, Tennessee. It really is amazing that people want to keep our schools shut, yet our borders open at this point in time. It's going to have a negative economic effect. I've asked the White House, are you going to be testing people as they cross the border? Are you going to vaccinate them? Are you going to vaccinate them ahead of Americans? Are you going to give them work permits? This is a huge problem for us right now.
Absolutely. Senator, take us behind the doors in terms of this confirmation blitz. I know President Biden's nominees are running into some roadblocks. Two key committee votes on Office of Management and Budget Director nominee Neera Tanden have been postponed. Senator Bernie Sanders says that she doesn't have the votes, and that's Senator Bernie Sanders. Nearly a dozen Senate Republicans are looking to block Department of Health and Human Services nominee Xavier Becerra. Your take on these nominees, and I reported yesterday what one analyst on Wall Street was saying. Becerra voted to allow drug re-importation from Canada and a number of other countries and to allow the government to negotiate drug prices in Medicare Part D. He was also attacked for the pay-for-delay arrangements between drug makers and generics that keep competition off the market. Bottom line is he's not a traditional nominee, certainly, to run HHS. No. Your thoughts for Xavier Becerra, having been the California AG and is now a nominee for HHS?
Well, you think about both Tanden and Becerra. They cut directly against Biden's call for unity. We all heard Biden's inaugural address talking about unity. I believe that we really do need unity here in America. Yet he's taken some of the most partisan candidates he could possibly put forward. And Becerra's experience has much more to do with litigating Little Sisters of the Poor, suing President Trump over 100 times. As you mentioned, a litany of issues that are highly partisan, highly charged, and highly political. Again, what we need is somebody with business experience, management experience, and medical experience that will be focused on the pandemic. The number one thing we need to be doing right now is putting this pandemic in our rearview mirror, and there's a tremendous amount of logistical challenges ahead of us. We need somebody capable of running the largest department in our organization, in the organization of the executive branch. We need someone capable of doing that, not an abject partisan like Becerra. And with respect to Tanden, I don't blame Senator Sanders. She's attacked him. She's attacked so many members of the United States Senate. She's attacked Susan Collins, calling her the worst. Senator Collins is one of the most polite people I've ever met. She's called Tom Cotton a fraud, a stand-up gentleman, Senator Cotton. She really has made a lot of enemies here. And if you think about how closely the OMB director needs to work with the Senate, I think it'll be very hard for her to be effective.
So are you going to vote no on both of these? And do you think the Republicans can do anything about any of this, about the agenda, whether it's immigration, higher taxes, which are coming? I mean, can you do anything to stop this?
Well, I certainly will be voting no against these nominees, and I think we're going to do everything we possibly can against the agenda. I put a tremendous amount of pressure on the White House to make certain that they recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. I got an amendment passed with 97-3 and pushed this hard against the White House. We hit them hard every day for 5 days, and finally they capitulated and agreed that they would maintain the United States Embassy in Jerusalem. It's that type of pressure that we're going to have to keep pushing forward.
Well, great that you were putting that pressure on. I know many people are grateful. Senator, it's good to see you this morning. We'll
Great
be watching
to be with
the
you, Maria.
developments.